I'm Dr. Vasanta. I used to read all your posts in the Nectar group. Thank you so much.
Excuse me, doctor. We are live now, doctor.
Okay, Madhula. Thank you.
Thank you.
So good evening, friends. It's indeed a great pleasure to welcome you all to this TNOA Thursday webinar. And today we have a different topic towards excellence, building your financial fitness. So we've started with health-related wellness program, which included physical and mental wellness. And now it's time for taking a different path and building your financial fitness. And this program today is for the young ophthalmologists who are starting their career, the postgraduate and young doctors. So we have wonderful people here, our mentors and inspiring people from the financial side. So as president of Tamil Nadu Ophthalmic Association, I welcome you all for this program. So this is the first of our three-part series focusing on financial wellness across different age groups. So we begin today with our young ophthalmologists, the YO task force. And in the upcoming months, we'll address the financial needs of middle-aged and retiring professionals. So this initiative is crucial since we believe the financial wellness is an integral part of overall wellness for medical professionals, particularly ophthalmologists. So additionally, I'm excited to remind you about our upcoming event, the Gurukulam 2.0 on 9th June 2024, again for the postgraduate and young ophthalmologist at Arrivo, Chennai. I encourage and invite the young doctors to attend this meeting. And for today's session, I have the privilege of having our esteemed guest, Mr. Dharmendra Satpathy. Welcome, Dharmendra, sir.
Hello, thank you for having invited me.
Yeah, so this is the Association of Eye Doctors of Tamil Nadu, and we are happy to have you as our guest speaker. So we heard from you from many other forums. So for ophthalmologists, I think this would be the first initiative with you. Mr. Dharmendra is the director Discovering Your Better Version, Next Level Education, and he also heads many other such initiatives. And he's also accompanied by my friend, Dr. Kumaresh, who's an anesthetist from Madurai, and now he has turned a life coach. Both this Guru Sishya, Dharmendra and Kumaresh, are with us in a journey to transform the financial wellness of doctors. We are all on a mission, common mission. We share this mission, and we've done many programs together. And this is the first time we are bringing these two inspiring, motivating people to TNOA. We look forward to hear from you, Kumaresh and Dharmendra. Welcome to TNOA.
Thank you.
We also welcome our senior visionaries, Dr. Vasanta, Dr. Tangavelu, Dr. PPS, and Dr. DP Prakash. Dr. PPS has joined. So welcome, sir. Thank you, Tangavelu, sir and madam, for joining us today. We also have our managing committee members, especially Vice President Dr. Sujata. Welcome, Sujata, madam. And we have our young and dynamic team, Dr. Karthikeyan and Dr. Pranesh Ravi, with questions from the young ophthalmologist, and moderators, Dr. Madan Gopal, Dr. Niranjan, along with the inspiring leaders of young ophthalmologists of TNOA committee, Dr. Nishant and Dr. Prasanna. So the most active chair and convener of this dynamic yoga committee, who has steered this program. And the topics for discussion are all conceived by them. And I'm sure this will be a important session for not only for young ophthalmologists, but also those who are planning to start their financial journey. So once again, welcome all of you. I look forward to a great learning experience together. I'm sure this will be a useful resource. This meeting will be recorded and will be part of TNOA website. You can, if you are not able to view this now, maybe you can also tell your friends to go and visit TNOA website and see this as an important resource material. So with these words, I welcome all of you. I invite Dr. Sujata Mohan to say a few words before we hand over the session to our moderators and conveners.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Nirmal. I think over the past few months, you've done an excellent job and you had such interesting topics. Some of them I had to miss because of personal commitments, and we really look forward to this wonderful session. And I'm sure with the spearheading this yours like Nishant and Madhana Gopal and Prasanna, I think it's going to be a great session today. Let's move on to the session.
Yeah, thank you, madam. Over to you, Prasanna.
Yes, sir. Nishant, sir.
So before we actually start on, I'd like to have Dr. Vasanta madam say a few words before we start.
Dr. Nirmal, I am really happy that you have started this program. But whenever I used to see our PGs, all doctors are very, very intelligent. We have to agree to that. But they don't have any knowledge about their financial problems. They just think they know everything. That is also there. Because they are intelligent, they think they know everything. And they don't concentrate on improving their financial status. So I'm glad that you have started this. And I'm very, very glad that you included me in that Nectar program. And I hope all young ophthalmologists get benefited by this program. Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam.
So it's another part of your colorful cap, because we all know you as an academician and senior teacher. So this is one aspect. I think when somebody saw your name, how come Vasanta madam is here in this program? That was the question. So we are glad that we are exploring yet another interesting aspect of your intelligence and brain. I'm sure this will be a useful initiative because you started now with the Yorker question. They know everything when they join. Okay, because I think that MBBS, getting the seat into MBBS and then cracking the PG code gives that halo around us head that we know everything. So I think we need to break that myth. So we are good at medicine. We are good at clinical medicine or clinical ophthalmology, but these are things we need to learn from the experts, and we need to learn. There are so many things to life. Finance is one part of it. I'm sure you all will agree with that. As professionals, very, very important. We know this aspect also, and this is an important aspect of wellness, both physical, mental, and financial wellness. And this particular aspect has been well received by the doctor community. And that is the reason our Nectar group has been very successful, and both for online education as well as the physical programs what we have conducted have been roaring success. Thank you for joining, madam.
Thank you.
Just to add another bit for Vasanta ma'am, she is an amazing billiards player as well, sir, apart from this. And next, I would request Thangavelu to say a few words before we start. Sir, you're on mute, sir.
Mute, sir.
Good evening, President Nirmal, Kumaresh, chairpersons, moderators, conveners, and the office bearers of TNOA. As Dr. Sujata said, everything, variety we have seen. Variety is the spice of life. We have been listening to a combination of academics and some basics of day-to-day essentials of living, professional guidance, healthy living, and then coordinating with the insurance companies to make our life little comfortable and easy. Now life's real necessity, what we need, wealth, how to make it grow more than how to keep it safe. That is what we're going to learn today. In the initial days of our profession, what we used to do is, we used to, as Madam said, we used to think that we are all right. So we used to keep on investing in ourselves. So self-improvement, that is what we are all keen about. As we see, one sees money, then we begin to set goals. For that, we need guidance here. This is the place where we need people to guide us what is our goal, and clear goals for short term, medium, and long term. When we were children, when we had a coin, we used to drop it in the clay jar, the piggy bank. As we grew up, then we started to save in deposits, banks, post offices, so many small things we used to do. They're all good savings. But in the long run, what happens is this doesn't match our inflation. But this has become a very rich saving habit. For many of us, this has become a rich saving habit. And here is a platform where we learn to invest our hard-earned money to where we can convert the savings into investments that could take care of inflation or retirement and beyond. And when we have money, undoubtedly, money is very essential to make our day-to-day commitments, live a comfortable life and with minimal stress, freedom, and what to do, what we wish. And at this point, we must all realize what is abundance, what is contentment. At this point, we must all be thankful for the abundance and know what to do with the abundance. So tonight, let's listen and interact with the masters Kumaresh and Dr. Dharmendra to reach the stage of abundance. I must mention here that I've been benefited out of this Nectar group, which our president has started. Many have benefited. I'm one of the silent spectators who have benefited out of this program. Thank you, Dr. Nirmal, personally, and thank the president, TNOA, and all the members for allowing me to say a few words. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And congratulations for taking over as president of Equine Tamil Nadu.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, sir. A few words from Dr. P.P. Soundarajan, sir. Soundarajan, sir, am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir. A few words from you.
Good evening to all of you. Hello.
Good evening, sir. Yes, sir. You're audible, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Yes. Good evening to all of you. This is a wonderful meeting, and I invite all the speakers, Mr. Kumare, Dr. Kumaresh and Mr. Dharmendra Sabadi. Both are stalwarts in their own fields. I hope and wish that all of us will benefit out of this meeting. Regarding Nectar, it has been an eye-opener for, like most of us, it has been an eye-opener for me also. Even though I've been in the market for quite some time, it's been a wonderful experience interacting with all of you. And all the best. And congratulations for organizing this meeting for the youngsters, through the youngsters of Aftal. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Next, I would like to extend a warm welcome to DP Prakash, sir, who has joined all the way from US today. A few words from you, sir.
Thank you, Prasanna. It's a very wonderful initiative by TNOA to conduct this financial awareness for our young ophthalmologists. It's the need of the hour, and we all missed it. All the seniors, we missed this boat. Actually, we should have learned all this when we were in our 20s and 30s. We are learning this in our 50s. See, actually, the most important thing about having your financial planning is the power of compounding. When you don't have time on your side, you cannot have power of compounding working for you, which is known as the eighth wonder of the world. So you young ophthalmologists are very lucky that you have this kind of a platform or this kind of a facility, which you are gladly taking it up, and you're not confining yourself to only ophthalmology. There is so much more to life than ophthalmology. Ophthalmology is just a career to make your life. Most of us get caught up in the career so much that we don't know anything other than ophthalmology. And we proudly say also, I know nothing but ophthalmology. And that's a proud fact many of us would ascribe to. I'm glad most of you are not in that mode and you want to explore the facets of life. And I'm sure Mr. Dharmendra Satapathy sir and Dr. Kumaresh, they are going to enthrall you on this. This could be a great initiation ceremony for the people, the young people who are listening. especially I am a big fan of Mr. Dharmendra Satapathy, and his concepts are like mind-blowing concepts. Like I have never seen anything like that in my life, and I wish all of you a great journey ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, Nishant sir.
Yeah. Hi. Welcome everyone. So there's a saying which says the best time to invest was yesterday. The next best is actually today. And the worst to invest is actually tomorrow. So with this, I would like to start by just saying that what we as the TNOA Your Task Force has been just doing for the past 8 months. So the activities what we have done till now is always something what everyone says us as unique, different, and something which is not there in the routine webinars. So as this is the team of Your Task Force, the office bearers, the advisors, and the members. So the first was actually innovations by all the young ophthalmologists. And the second, we had the milestone of more than 1,000 views, where this was the second part of all the innovations which are being shared. The third, we had a milestone more than 1,600 views, where we spoke about the excellence in fellowship program, what to do once they finish their post-graduation. And then we had an institute approach of sparkling career. So the main doubt with everyone is, do I start my own practice? Do I join a corporate practice? So which had a milestone of around 1,200 views. The next we had was how to excel in FICO practical exams, which was something which was very unique and it was appreciated by everyone. The other thing is social media, whether it is a boon or a bane, is what which were discussed in the next webinar. And then we had a mentor-mentee program, which was first of its kind, where the people who had finished had to talk about their mentors and vis-a-vis. The final, we had excellence in Bone Voyage scholarship, where they had to apply for grants. And then now we are having an amazing financial program by the stalwarts, Mr. Dharmendra and Dr. Kumaresh, who's going to not only tell us what, when, how to invest, but also who are going to have a great discussion among this. So I would like to call up Dr. Madana Gopal to introduce our first speaker for the day.
Thanks, Nishant. So it's my privilege to actually introduce Mr. Dharmendra Satapathy to this audience. So, sir is well known in investing circles, and people who are, investing in equities would be introduced to him. But it's my present duty to say a few words. So, sir is a mechanical engineer and an MBA graduate, an MBA in marketing. But he's well known as having rich experience and knowledge in personal finance. He's also helping people with brand building, advertising, and social media. Of particular importance, he's conducted more than 1,000 investor awareness programs and more than 500 trainings for financial advisors themselves. So we are really proud and honored to have sir in our midst today. So sir is going to be talking to us about certain details on investing with particular emphasis on how a youngster or a young physician should approach his investing career. Over to Dharmendra Satapathy, sir.
Thank you so much for the nice introduction, and let's head for the session because it's 7:50. And please warn me when it is about 15 to 20 minutes so that I can accordingly end the presentation. So let me just start it straight away. Here, my presentation today is, I have titled it The Story of Wealth. It's a presentation which is a bit philosophical about money management. Money management is extremely important for all of us, but I think we all have various different concepts, and there are some things about money we don't understand, and abundance and power of compounding. So money is such a boon that if you really know how to manage that money, you don't have to struggle for many things that we normally do, and that scarcity can be left far behind. So the structure of the presentation is, I'll start with 3 stages of wealth creation. Then there is this portion called biggest life realization and transformation. Then there is the biggest wealth formula of life, real wealth of life, the biggest lesson of money management, and some very important investment insights. So this is the structure of the presentation. And to start with, we start with 3 stages of wealth creation. So as you know, there are, the way I have structured it in life, there are 3 stages. One is a scarcity stage. The next stage is the enough stage, and then you have the abundance stage. Now, life is only restricted to 70 years, 80 years, 85 years. Okay, so which clearly means that you should try to have a smaller portion of your life in the scarcity zone and a larger portion of your life in the enough and in the abundance zone. And that is why everybody says you start investing early. So which is the scarcity zone? Now I am talking to an audience which are doctors, and therefore I have tailored my presentation for this kind of an audience, and therefore the amounts are also a little larger. So when your wealth is less than 1 crore, so a lot of people may say, I don't have 1 crore, but there may be land, there may be ancestral house. You put all that together, that's where your wealth starts. And there is there is something called a physical wealth and there is financial wealth. So physical wealth is wealth which you have, but that perhaps is not in your control in terms of growth. Financial wealth is the wealth that you can actually navigate that wealth to help you in life. So when wealth is less than 1 crore, you are actually in a scarcity stage. So most of the people who are young over here, what you need to do? Your salaries may be good if you are in a hospital. If you are practicing, you may be having a good amount of practice. But despite that, this is a stage in life where you need to practice living mindfully. That is not overspending. You need to think about a single level of compounding. Now, when I tell you double level of compounding, you'll understand what single level means. Single level basically means being an investor, and you're allowing your money to compound. So that is single level compounding. I'll talk about double level of compounding for people once you move into the enough stage. Okay, so you need to invest as much as possible. Okay, so that is very important. So for example, you get a gift during your marriage from your parents, invest that money. Try to have an SIP every month. Try to increase that SIP. It sounds very simple, but the outcome of this is magical. Focus on equity when you are young, definitely, because if you want to restrict your scarcity stage to a smaller, if you want to make your scarcity stage a smaller proportion of the journey of life, then you need to focus on equity, because that's the only way you can reach the enough stage much earlier in life. You should target reaching the enough stage by the time you are 40 years old or 45 years old, not later than that, because then it allows you enough time to live a life of your choice, because you become fully abundant or enough when you are 60, 65. You perhaps can't do everything that you had dreamt of doing. So try to reach the magic figure, as I said, as early as possible. And that can only happen if you live mindfully, invest more, and focus on equity. Okay. And of course, this is a period when I would say that as a doctor, you need to focus on your skill. That means try to be a better doctor, try to get more knowledge, try to do things that others don't do. But this is the period where you can focus on skill. I am particularly talking about it because when we move to a doctor who gets into enough stage, I will actually give you, my prescription will be, don't focus on your skill. So that will give you a shock right now, but you will understand as we move ahead. So this is the scarcity stage. In case you all are confused with anything, we will take that in Q&A. Then comes the enough stage. Enough stage is the time when your wealth, when I say wealth, means it is liquid wealth. I'm not, and if you have a land or a house or an ancestral property, I would suggest liquidate it. having liquidated that wealth, it should be in the range of 1 crore to 3 crore. Now, when you are in the range of 1 crore to 3 crore, you are actually in the enough stage, which basically means that you can manage your life till the end of your life with different standard of living. Obviously, 3 crores is 3x the standard of living. 1 crore will be 1/3 of 3 crores. Okay, but still, even above 1 crore, you can manage through life without having to really go to work. That is the first comfort and the protection that your money provides you. So once you're 1 crore to 3 crores, you know that I can go through life. Even if tomorrow business practice is not so good, if there is competition, if there are any other problems, you should not worry because you are already in enough stage. Now, once you reach enough stage, this is where a lot of people they continue living life the way they were living in the scarcity stage. And this is where we need to, demarcate this particular part of life. You can't continue living this stage like you were living in the previous stage. In fact, you have to make many big decisions. Okay, so when I say start living better, now 1 crore to 3 crore is that protection that, if tomorrow something goes wrong, nothing will go wrong in your life. You can live through life. But obviously, nothing has gone wrong. 1 to 3 crore is there. And now you're continuing with your business, your practice, and your vocation. So at this time, you now have to start thinking how I can live better. So here is a picture of a person on the left-hand side. Perhaps he was in the scarcity stage. But once he reached a particular income, okay, a particular wealth number, then look at the right-hand side. He no longer is fishing. He now has a trawler. Okay, and he has people working for him. And I have some more examples just to make it clear. Here is a person pulling a rickshaw. Here, perhaps he's purchased a bus. Here is a tailor. And here, once he becomes rich, once he's enough, he perhaps sets up a factory. Likewise, here is a person who's working very hard all by himself. But as he progresses in life, he starts creating a team and he becomes more of a manager of the team. So this is the stage of starting to live better. And you need to have this 2 level of compounding. If you remember, in the scarcity stage, I said 1 level of compounding. That means you are doing your SIP, you're looking at money compounding. And now whatever I explained to you in the second stage of enough stage is compound your business, COB, and compound your wealth. Compound your wealth, you know that your money, your 1 crore to 3 crores, if you are not pulling it out, if you are doing well and that money is there, that money will compound. But I'm also suggesting that you should start thinking about compounding your business. So moment you set up a business, so that is where I would also say that this is a stage. First stage, I said, focus on your skill. Second stage is to stop focusing on your skill, but to focus on other people's skill and to focus on scale. So start thinking scale and not skill at this stage. Start thinking scale. Start thinking leadership. Like we discussed about, you all are ophthalmologists. So you all know vision. You all are the vision specialists. So I have a vision message of that. Start thinking leadership. Start thinking in terms of vision and mission. Start thinking, and also abundance that was covered by in our opening remarks. I will cover that also. So start thinking about delegation, start thinking about development. And last point is extremely, extremely important. Start thinking leverage. What is leverage? Leverage is OPM, OPT, OPK, OPT, OPS. Now you must be wondering what is this. Now OPM is other people's money. Other OPT could be other people's talent. OPK could be other people's knowledge. OPT could be other people's technology. And again, OPS could be other people's skill. Now, suddenly life changes at this stage. Other people become more important. So you need to identify talent, spot talent, inspire talent, try to show them a vision and make it a shared vision. It's very, very important because this is a very important stage of your life. This is a stage where you really can have two level of compounding, which means from the age of 40 to the age of 50, you can create tremendous, tremendous wealth. And by the time you are at 50, you are actually moved into perhaps the abundance stage. At abundance stage, you are the master of scale. So you by the time you're 50, you are practically running a hospital or a large polyclinic with a lot of people, and you are not doing the work, but you are ensuring that a lot of work gets done. So you become the master of leverage. You're focusing more on identifying right technology, right talent, and you are more of a person who's having a macro view at this stage. Then you're a master of impact, because unless you scale up, you can't create impact. And I'll show you that in the next slide. And you become a master of compounding. What is compounding? When you scale up, you compound. So while we say compounding is interest making money, but the real meaning of compounding is actually reaching, I'll give you other examples of compounding. When I reach a new market, I spread my market from Tamil Nadu to other states, to other part of the world. I start providing multiple services. This is all compounding. So you become a master of compounding. And by this time, the only joy in life is if you are driven by a vision and mission and you are inspiring people. So here is an example for you to understand what is vision in that vision that I am trying to explain, not the vision that you all are expert in. See, if there was an individual and an individual did not have a vision, then at the most he could have made a house that is on the left-hand side. That is a tent. At the most, it would be a tent and perhaps not even as good as this tent that you are seeing. It could have been a more rudimentary kind of a tent. So if a person only believed in skill, then he would have lived in this house which is on the left-hand side. But because somebody had a vision someday, he brought people together and he brought people from different areas of expertise and he built this mansion. You'll see this across everywhere. If a person was an individual skillful guy, he would have been a swimmer who would have swam from point A to point B. But because somebody had a vision, he created a boat, then he created a steamer, then he created a bridge. So you have to have a vision. And all the things that are driven by vision require leverage. It requires other people. So this is one part of it. Now, what is the biggest transformation we need to understand in our lives that we need to do is when we make money, okay, you can see the line that is the purple line. Okay, once you start making money, usually, okay, if you don't have a path which is vision driven, usually your power of compounding takes you to and makes you richer. As you get richer and richer, you start developing power of ego. That is, I want to be the best, a lot of I, me, myself. But it is a very hollow journey because you get very bored of it after some time. We need to move into this space. And in this space, you come back to the purple line from the blue line. What I'm trying to say is when you work for other people, you need to spend money, no doubt. But once you know you're in the abundant zone, what you need to understand is that in the abundant zone, even if you spend money for other things, for the society, or for even yourself, if you continue to be in abundance. You see, abundance plus abundance is abundance. Abundance minus abundance is minus abundance also remains abundant. So even if you spend money, that is the magic of compounding. This is what, because if you see our cost, the purple line, it flattens. But the dark blue line may be wealthier, but the purple line is still abundant, but it is of a person who has a mission and vision and doing other things in life. Because if you do not, this is again another beautiful chart which talks about life with a vision and mission life. Normally what happens is when we are young, we are, and when you're spending money, initially when the money grows, we have survival, we want to survive. It's like the Maslow's hierarchy, basically food, clothing, shelter. Then comes to comfort levels. Then you go to luxury. And after a time, you can spend money on status. Buy a Porsche, okay, buy an expensive car, go for expensive holidays. But there's a limit to that also, because compounding is so massive that the rate at which you create wealth, you will not know how to spend it. Even if you spend on going on multiple holidays, still you'll realize that, it's not giving you joy. So unless you create a vision and mission life for yourself, the happiness factor starts falling down. Very rich people can be very unhappy also. Okay, and you would have seen a lot of celebrities who commit suicide. They have everything that they want, but still they commit suicide. Because somewhere you can't just live for yourself. Now, understanding the story of two generations, why are we discussing this today? During my father's time, by the time he turned, let's say 60 years, he perhaps had enough money to buy his first house. And perhaps people continue to live maybe 10 years after that. We are now in a generation where most of our needs are being met at a much earlier stage in life. Our basics and our comforts and luxuries are almost there by the time we are 45 to 50, which leaves us almost 30 years of life. And if those 30 years you cannot live only focusing on status and esteem, okay, because that can get very frustrating. So you need to build a purpose in life. And this SEAP formula, SEAP formula, is again explains the same thing. It's talking about scarcity, enough. So in the first stage, you are scarce, then you start falling in place, you start getting enough. Then you move into the space of abundance, and then it is philanthropy or self-actualization. Okay, so this is how the journey of your money will be, and you need to plan like this. So as the community evolves, what happens? This is a Maslow's hierarchy. You would have done it in school or college, or you could Google it and see. The base level is physiological needs, then comes safety needs, then status needs, and then self-actualization needs. Self-actualization need is you can only be in this triangle if you are in abundance. Okay, otherwise you can't be in self-actualization. So in the past, people were focusing on physiological safety and status, and the self-actualization was a very small triangle. As time moved on, and maybe the time that we are living today, where everybody everywhere is taking a selfie, and everywhere everybody wants to say that he is something, and that desire for status is very, very large. So the triangle of status is large. But as people get more and more wealthier, the status also, people will get tired of that. And therefore, the triangle, self-actualization triangle, is going to become bigger as you move on in life. So we are now, up to now and going forward. So this is a very important way how society has evolved. Now, how does the evolution triangle impact financial planning? So if you look at a very base level, when physiological needs, that is food, clothing, and shelter, if those things are important, it is driven by greed and fear, this part of it, because either I'm greedy for something or I'm very fearful. Then you are mainly doing transactions in personal finance. As you start becoming richer and you move from transaction stage, you start doing financial planning. Okay, that's classical goal-based financial planning. A marriage, a car, a house, etc., etc. And that is called goal achievements, if you see on the other side. Now, as you become richer, you move to status, like all your basic goals are fulfilled. Now you want to only get into a better car, a better house, a better holiday, a better clothes, all when you're in that space of buying brands. Okay, now this is the time you want to assure lifestyle and you require cash flow. So there has to be a cash flow. Okay, and finally comes wealth management. When you are in abundant region, this is where your vision and purpose comes. So if you are a younger doctor today, you would be in the classical financial planning zone. You will move into the cash flow zone and eventually the wealth management zone. People who are slightly elderly in this group would today have the option to live a life of purpose, and they can be in the wealth management zone. All you need to know that if you are somewhere in the range of 3 crores, 1 to 3 crores and 3 crores and above, you can, this is the space where you need to be in. So now we come to the biggest wealth formula of life. And this is a thumb rule. I also have a calculator. I will show you the calculator if we have time at the end. Okay, this is a very, very simple rule. It's the thumb rule. Never forget this in your life. Never, never forget this line. In 10 years, your wealth grows 4 times, but cost only grows 2 times. So just say, for example, you had 3 crores with you. In 10 years, you will have 12 crores. In the next 10 years, you'll have 48 crores. Just imagine. And today, if you are spending 24 lakhs in a year, you'll spend 48 lakhs after 10 years, and after 20 years, you'll spend 96 lakhs. So when you are spending 96 lakhs, your wealth has gone to 48 crores. Do you see how vast the gap grows? So when we are poor, poverty pinches us a lot. But once we move into enough and abundance, we also don't realize what wealth we have. And we continue to live the way we were living in the past. And this is a major problem. So while the wealth is growing, we continue to live a lifestyle the way we were living. We continue to focus on skill. We have an opportunity to impact the world, but we miss that opportunity because we are just not mindful. So beware of the mindset paralysis. Now let's come back to what's the real wealth of life. And we must misunderstand the real meaning of wealth. We often misunderstand. There are some very nice examples I want to show you. Time spent alone. So as you age, you see how much of time you are spending alone. Okay, something to contemplate. Okay, when you grow older, you and your wife, kids are no longer with you. As you grow older, you also get caught up in your work, your spouse gets caught up in her work, and you actually grow apart. Time spent with family. Okay, hours per day. So as you grow older, you're not spending time with family. It's only in the early stages. And this is time spent with children. Okay, again, it's at some stage, the middle you are spending. All three tell you a very important story that we need to understand. We grow old, time passes by, the environment, the world around us is changing, and we need to be cognizant of it. Sometimes we are running after money, forgetting that the real wealth is being left behind. And we need to understand that real wealth of life is nothing but having time. And many times I see doctors not having time. And that is not a sign of success. Please understand, I will repeat, not having time is not a sign of success. It's a sign of real sheer poverty. And why you need time? You need time for your own self-discovery. You may be having a lot of desires. I will do this someday. I will do this another day. They will someday come. That day has to come. It can't come when you are 70. It has to come when you are 45, 50. So self-discovery is very important. Discovering, this is all kinds of self-discovery. Okay, whether it is your health, whether it is your meditation, your mind. I've seen so many very senior people, CEOs, they go for Vipassana and they come back so happy. They feel that's the best thing they've done in life. And they were big CEOs. Okay, so this is very much required. Relationship, rebuilding. I showed you the chart that our time with our family just goes down. We become lonely. Okay, so when you are in your 45, 50, you need to understand and be mindful that this is also a kind of wealth. And also you need to be a lifetime learner. Today, it's so important that you may have studied as many number of years, but in the next 5 years, everything will be obsolete. So you need to be in touch with learning. And all this you can do provided you have time with you. And now comes solving other people's problem. Even that requires time and money. And things like wanting to erase poverty. You can do it. It's possible, but you need to have time. and you need to have money, both of them. And finally, building a better world. That is living a good life. So real wealth of life is time, relationship, health, and impacting others. Like if you see happiness over here, initially income will definitely accelerate your happiness and give you a lot of joy. But a point will come, the higher, it's like a law of diminishing marginal utility. The more you earn after a particular point, you will not make proportionate happiness. You will not build, unless you work on a larger purpose and vision. So value of money keeps coming down and the value of time keeps going up as we start aging. The biggest lesson of money management is something called passive income. Here is an example of passive income. The person on the left-hand side is fishing, whereas the person on the right-hand side has a system which is catching fish. Okay, this is the biggest learning, and that is why I said if you have a land, you have gold, you have a additional flat, release that power and allow it to create cash flows. Allow it to create passive income for you, because those things will just stay as they are. So passive income brings financial freedom, not your practice. You can continue practicing, earning even less out of it. Your passive income can give you double the income that you make in your practice. Maybe 3 times, maybe 4 times, maybe 5 times. That is the power of money.
Dharmendra, just a reminder.
Yeah. Time is. I'm on time. No problem.
Yeah. Okay.
And over here also, if you see salaries versus equity, salary will grow in a very slow way. Equity compounds. So as you age, rising, what happens is your active income, you focus on active income, create a lot of wealth, but gradually your active income comes down because we start aging. So you need to create a source of passive income. Now, I may have shown it at this point, it can come at an earlier point also. The whole idea is this passive income is a big concept that you need to keep it in your mind as a priority. Now, biggest investment insights. Start money management immediately. Like somebody said in the beginning, it should have been yesterday. If not yesterday, today. Tomorrow could be too late. Focus on multiple sources of income. Try to see, one is your money itself is a source of income. But if you can still think of multiple sources of income, think of multiple sources of income. It's very important, because if you have more sources of income and you start early, you have more time to compound. At 40, 45, you can be financially free. And this is a very important this is my slide. This is, I think, my last slide. You know what happens is investors under profession, you need to, why we say many times, take professional guidance. Okay, because investors under professional guidance, however, use the black. Now, if you see over here, this is how the market moves. Unpredictable mode of the market is the black line, going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. That is the black line. Okay. Sometimes it is underpriced, sometimes it is overpriced. Okay. If you look at a fundamental analysis of a business, okay, the business will take this brown line. When you say fundamental analysis, it means the profits that the business makes, the sales that the business does. It's called fundamental analysis. When you study the market, you call it technical analysis. So technical analysis will study the moods of the people. Are the people in a mood to buy more or sell more? Okay. But if you are doing money management through a professional approach, you will not make, see, you are making money in the blue zone. Okay, you're making money in the blue zone because when you are having a portfolio and you are doing asset allocation and rebalancing. So every time you do a rebalancing, you're taking advantage of somebody in the market who is either extremely greedy, so you're taking advantage of that, or you are taking advantage of a person who's extremely fearful. So that person also is, so when you do money management by practicing the processes, you are getting benefit of other people's greed and fear. And of course, because you put money in equities of good companies, that is the brown line, you continue to make money. But why do people make more money in equity markets, in portfolios, more than the companies provide? Because the company, if you only invest in the company, you'll make the profit, the valuations of the company you will get. But when you participate through a process of investing, that is asset allocation, rebalancing, being mindful about controlling the downside of the markets, when you do it, when you follow processes, you are also taking advantage of the moods of the market. Somebody who is more greedy, extremely greedy, okay, and he should not be greedy, you get advantage of that person. And somebody who's very, very fearful when the markets are down and he wants to sell it, and at that time you buy it. Okay, so greed and fear of others is contributing to your returns. And that is what I'm trying to talk. And this is one of the very important insights which not many people will talk to you about. And with that, it's 8:21 and I rest my case. Thank you so much for patient listening.
Thank you, Dharmendra sir, for your wonderful insights. I mean, it takes me back to my memory when I first heard Dharmendra sir, where he started by saying, how much money do you after all want in your life? And since then till now, all what he has spoken has really made his audience reset his or her priorities. Thank you, sir. Thank you for those wonderful insights. I would like to request the panelists to share their opinions, starting with Vasanta madam. A couple of words, ma'am, before we proceed.
Hi.
Yes, madam, you are audible.
Okay, something else has come in that in my computer. So I was
Manjula
wondering.
ma'am, yeah, Manjula ma'am, can you disable screen sharing, ma'am?
I don't want to share anything. I don't know how it came.
Yeah, it's an error.
I think by somebody else.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I
Yes,
said
it's disabled.
something. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry for that problem. That was a wonderful talk by Dr. Dharmendra. I have listened only to ophthalmology lectures. So this is the first time I'm listening. Not the first time. I have listened to Dr. Mr. Nagappan and all that. But this was a nice talk. And I'm glad that he has insisted that all of us should start investing. I'm not for me, of course. I'm already 69 years old, and not start investing for the younger ophthalmologists, so that they can retire at 40 or 45 years old. That is a bit difficult, sir, for us, because we start only when we are around 30. Because we have to study a lot and then only start earning money. So that's a bit too early for us. Perhaps at least if we can stop at around, retire at about 50 years old, I'll be happy. And I think we can go on further so that we can add more points. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. I request Thangavelu sir to share a few points, sir.
Excellent, sir. Excellent. As the madam said, I'm also 70. So some of the points maybe we will not be able to take it up. But the youngsters is an opportunity to grab this opportunity, grasp what he has said, and then take it up. I think by 50, we'll be able to retire with this methodology. Thank you very much, sir. We really thank you on behalf of TNOA also. On myself, I thank you for this enlightening us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Thangavelu sir. In other panelists, DP Prakash sir or PPS sir, if you'd like to share something before we proceed.
Yeah, this is I have never heard somebody talk like this before. To tell not only doctors, I think this is not a finance management class what he has taken. He has taken us, given us a view of how our life is going to be, how your life is going to be, what you need to do, what you need not do, how to structure your life. I think no words, amazing.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. If there are no other comments, I think I hand it over to Nishant sir to introduce the next speaker for today.
Yeah. Krishna sharing the screen or Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So I'm so glad to introduce Dr. Kumaresh sir. So he did his medicine from actually Chengalpet Medical College, MD from Madurai Medical College, and cleared his PLAB and underwent training in the UK. He's a freelancing anesthesiologist with the renal transplant team since 2003. Spouse Dr. Preeti, who is a child psychiatrist. And in finance, he's currently pursuing certified financial planner. And to add a note, he's also a financial planner for my wife, Shruti, and a chartered trust and estate planner. I think one of Sir's favorite quote is, don't work for money, let the money work for you. So over to you, Kumaresh sir.
Yeah, today we have got no presentation, but we have got certain questions that we can answer. That's the format that today we have got. Yeah, we can share the questions so that we can answer those questions. Already, it has come.
Yes, sir. I would like to call Dr. Karthik and Pranesh. If you can share your screen, and Madan sir, we have 6 segments which you can take over, sir.
Okay. So first we'll deal with the questions that some of our young ophthalmologists kind of have when it comes to investing in equities and investing in general. So I'd like to request the panel and our seniors to guide us on how to go ahead. So these are thoughts coming out from youngsters. So if Pranesh is there, he can ask the questions himself. Pranesh,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. These are the questions which we have collected from the young ophthalmologists, and we have formulated.
Okay.
The most important ones, the ones which are which we thought were prominent, are highlighted and in bold. So we just wanted it to exhibit to the panel so they can give their views and thoughts.
Okay, let me
We
just
just want to for investing equity. Yes, sir. Please.
Yeah, so to kind of simplify the whole questionnaire that's given here, let me say the youngsters are, curious to know how you identify mutual fund or script in which to invest. Of course, they have their time is occupied with their learning and upgrading their skill. So, what is the best way to do it? And who do you trust in this process? Because right now I would say there's an explosion of information. You have WhatsApp groups, you have YouTube channels, you have your friends and relatives chipping in. So for a person who's just starting out, what would be, we spoke about investing in equities, so what is the best way to do it? The panel, please.
Who is this question for? For Kumaresh or me?
Yeah, you can take it, sir. You can take it.
I can. So
yes.
I have a very simple solution to this. If I have an eye problem, I can go to Google and find out about some medicines, go to the chemist shop and put it in my eyes. Do you think it's the right thing to do? So likewise, we often think that money management is very easy because we watch some videos on YouTube. Okay, we think Kumaresh sir has just become a CFP and even I have become a CFP. And both of us thought we'll fail our exams and we managed to pass. So, we underestimate the money management. Ideally, you should have a good advisor. But that does not mean that you should not read about money management and learn about money management. When I have a chauffeur, it doesn't mean that I don't need to know driving. If I know driving, I'll also know who's a good chauffeur. I can also judge him, evaluate him at times. The reason you need to have a money manager is it's expert job. And you continue learning about it. Nobody stops you. Your money manager can also teach you. Okay, nothing wrong in it. But why do you give him this job? Because your time is free. I told you in one of my slides that the real wealth of life is time. Okay, so you need, even if you give it to somebody to do, that time gets saved. Okay, so that is why the best thing is where in equity, see, times change. Every time the economy goes through different cycles, not only in India, but also in the world. Where do you put your money? In which, in debt or in equity? What kind of debt? What kind of equity? There are so many moving parts. Be knowledgeable about it, but don't execute it yourself, is what I would say.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Kumaresh, sir, please.
I will go about it. In the book Outliers, a person is called an expert if he has done or read about anything 10,000 hours. We are masters in ophthalmology or master in anesthesia because during this master 3 years, during these 3 years of course, minimum 10,000 hours we have put ourselves on this subject, anesthesia or ophthalmology. That's why we call ourselves as masters. But if we spend 1 hour per day in reading about the markets, economics, macros, micros, technical analysis, fundamental analysis, everything, it will take 27 years to become a master. But we think that reading half an hour, we can become masters. It's not possible at all. If CFA is a full-time certified financial analyst is a course who is doing seriously reading about the stock market. Yes, a professional analyst, there are 20, 25 professional analysts there in each mutual funds. And the full-time professional CFA of a mutual fund company, AMCs, they analyze 20 to 25 companies only throughout the year. So whole mutual fund industry is discussing only 400 stocks. But we doctors, we are hardly spending half an hour. We talk about 3,000 stocks. It's not possible. It is impossible. So my best suggestion for young doctors is please read slowly, but have a good advisor or a good person with you who has got experience like PPS sir, Prakash sir, Nirmal sir, like that. Have a mentor-mentee model. Go about that. If you don't have those things, because generally how we choose mutual fund schemes is we see Sartner ratio, we see up capture ratio, down capture ratio, Jensen's alpha, rolling returns. All these things, if you want to go and see and analyze, it is very difficult. So we use different research softwares for that. It is highly impossible for a person who is doing profession as well as this bit difficult. Always we use softwares. And again, this software is giving the past performance only. Only 2 persons can give the best thing. One is God, another is liar. So today's best scheme will be the worst scheme after 3 or 4 years. You may have seen so many times. Hard stocks today might go into dustbin after 10 years. We have seen. Reliance Power, where is it? We were fighting it to buy for 430 rupees. Today, what's the cost? Like that, so many things may be misleading. We don't know because it is beyond our control. So for young professionals, always have a mentor with them. And with this expert's suggestion, please go into discipline in equity investments is best. And as Dharam sir said, asset allocation and rebalancing creates 90% of the wealth. Scheme selection, hardly 2% of the wealth is created, and time the market only 5%. So always have creation of wealth 95% of the times through asset allocation and rebalancing. Yeah. Thank you.
Wonderful, sir. Thank you. Thank you. So the take-home message here when it comes to investing in equities for beginners at least would be, to get professional guidance and listen to people who are actually doing it. And at the same time, we can take our own time to understand the dynamics behind the whole thing and keep ourselves informed so that we can take better decisions in future with our own money. So that's the take-home point. Yes, madam, please.
Can I have a word? See, they want to know the risks which can be there in investing in equity funds. Okay. See, as soon as these people have told their parents, they would have told, "Ayyo, equity, the share. Haven't you read the papers? So many people are committing suicide. So many people have lost money in Bangalore and all that." They will start saying that you should not invest in equity funds. It is not so. Just like Dr. Kumaresh and Dr. Mr. Dharmendra has said, you must have a mentor. I have been investing in shares for 40 years. Okay. I still have a consultant. Previously I was taking decisions on my own in the sense with my seniors, my parents and all that. So, but it is not always risky. You must just remember that also. If you go ahead and then if you're too greedy and you're stupid enough to invest in penny stocks, then only you lose money. Okay, otherwise you don't. And definitely long-term wealth creation is very, very good when you buy equity shares. That I'm sure Dr. Kumaresh also will.
Up to 45, we have to do asset allocation and rebalancing. Then after 45, we have to do asset rebalancing. As Dharam sir has told, sell some real estate and bring it to financial asset. Do asset rebalancing. If you are not financially independent by the age of 48 or 50, you are not living in a wrong place or wrong time or wrong country. Your plan is wrong. So always have asset allocation and rebalancing in place. That will create wealth 95% of the times. This is what I want to convey it to the young ophthalmologist.
Madan, may I just add only one simple point? The simplest plan is the best plan. That's all. Nothing else. The simplest plan is the best plan. This is what the young ophthalmologist should know. If you have to do a lot of work, you have to do a lot of study, if you have to do permutation, combination, all that, then you're making a mistake somewhere. Okay? You should, the best case is, cataract surgery பண்றோம், lens போடுறோம், வெளியே வரும். நம்ம ஃபர்ஸ்ட் கேட்ராக்டுக்கு முன்னாடி 1000 வேலை பண்ணி பின்னாடி கேட்ராக்ட் லென்ஸ் போடும்போது 1000 வேலை பண்ணி அங்க ஒட்டி இங்க ஒட்டி எல்லாம் பண்ணா அது சொதப்பல் தான் கண்டிப்பா. ஸோ எது சிம்பிளோ அதை ஃபாலோ பண்ணும். நம்ம டைம் we should use only for our profession. Everything should be automated. அது பாட்டுக்கு நடக்கும். நம்ம input should be very minimal input, maximum out. That if you remember, you will figure out everything.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Other panelists, if they have any points to chip in, please. Okay, one more point. As we are in this topic, we understand that we need professional guidance. We understand that the returns are going to be more the longer we are in the equity market. But there is one question about tax saving benefits. So when we look at it in the long run, speaking about ATC and benefits like that, how should a youngster be looking at equity as a tax saving vehicle? Or should he even be looking at equity as a tax saving vehicle at all?
You should look at equity as a tax saving vehicle because you do PPF, right? So you have an option against PPF is ELSS, equity linked saving schemes. Okay, now PPF will give you around 8% returns, whereas ELSS will give you around 15 to 16% long-term returns. And that's a big, that difference is going to make a big impact on wealth creation. As I told you, you try to become financially free as early as possible. So if you are a youngster, you should do, definitely you should do ELSS. You will not only save tax, but you will make more wealth faster. One more point I wanted to say is that, look, it's not that, you guys can't do this. Okay, everybody can do this. It's not that. But the point is your time will go over here. So the best case in point is Dr. Kumaresh. He has completely sacrificed his medical and gone deep into money management. And he's doing so many programs and all that because he has made a choice. So it's not, he's a good doctor also, but he can't do both. So the question is, you all can't do both. You all can be knowledgeable, but you can't do both. So that, like he said, and I also use the word leverage. In life, remember one thing, my biggest learning is leverage. We have to depend on others in life. If we think we can do things ourselves, we are actually fooling ourselves. Every stage in life, you'll have to depend on others. Okay, so even if you are, going to work every day and it takes you 1 hour to reach your work, if you have a chauffeur, you get that 1 hour extra. So try to focus in your area of core competency and go deep into it. And the rest of it, wherever you find an expert to outsource, simply outsource. That is the simple formula that Dr. Prakash spoke about. make things simple for yourself. So yes, tax saving, go for ELSS. Not very complicated, is a straightforward answer.
And how
Madan,
can
we
yes,
spend
sir.
so much time on tax planning. How much of time, how much of money you can save by taxes? Only
Exactly.
1.5
That's my
lakhs.
question. That's my question.
1.5 lakhs save பண்றதுக்கு we spend our entire year breaking our heads on that. Rather focus time on making money. You make more money. You can make 15 lakhs. huh? So this tax planning is beyond a point. This tax planning is useless. Yes, you need, as Dharmendra sir said, everybody needs ELSS. If you are in that bracket where you want to save, now government has taken away everything about tax planning. The government says don't do tax planning. I am giving you everything. 7 லட்சம். Simple, no tax planning. So spend more time on making money and making the money grow rather than on this small tax.
And what would be the right place to learn about it, sir? Because there's one question, the 10th question. How can young investors stay informed? I mean, there are so many informal channels. How would you say now when we talk about post-graduation, there are standard textbooks, standard people, standard mentors we approach. So one thing that we discussed right now was, find mentors who are professionals. Apart from that, where can I get material to learn about, equity markets and things like that, trusted sources, provided that youngsters are already learning, they're upskilling, their time is occupied. With the limited time, high resource material, where can we get them? What would be the channel?
Dr. Kumaresh, would you like
I like to, I like to just give this. See, knowledge is worthless. No amount of knowledge is going to do any good to you. Okay, knowledge, then understanding, then awareness, and finally you make it your own. It is a long drawn process. Just because somebody has some knowledge, you can't do anything much with that knowledge. It's worthless knowledge because it will confuse you. Best thing, ask Nirmal, join Nectar group, simple, game over.
I think that's the best answer, and I will give you an answer from your field only. Look, I have floaters in my eyes. Okay, and I'm sure all of you all know what's a floater. I got to know about it through, Google and YouTube. But I had to go to a doctor, okay, to show the doctor that it is floaters only and nothing. So doctor said that, yeah, you must be having floaters, but show it to me once. Okay, and only after showing to the doctor, I am now relaxed that it is floaters only. Okay, so I can read about floaters. There are so many YouTube, posts on floaters alone, how it becomes all right. But tell me, even if I spend 5 hours a day, will I have the confidence, or will I even be allowed by the fraternity to go and buy a medicine or do some treatment on my own? Okay, I would have read a lot about it, but I still can't do it. It's like that, So you want to learn about equity market, it is there all over the place. Whether today you have ChatGPT, you have YouTube, everywhere you put CNBC on, people are talking. The only problem is so much of information will only land up confusing you. But the worst thing is you will lose your time. And my only question is, time is money. Time is the wealth. You can spend that time with your child playing also. That's much, much better to do.
And one thing is,
Learn at your own pace. The Nectar will teach you. Sometimes YouTube will teach you. So if your ears and eyes are open, you will certainly slowly learn. There's no reason. If you're open to learning, you will learn, and it will happen at his own pace. You can't learn anything overnight or at a very short window.
Thank you, sir.
You have to jump into the pool to learn swimming, isn't it? It is the same thing like here also. Only if you start buying stocks, you will be interested in that and think of learning more about it. And even if you don't want to spend money on that, take a paper, look at the Hindu paper is there, Nifty 50 stocks values are there. You just write down that you imagine that you have bought some stock. See after 1 month what happens. Then also you will learn. And if you just type share to know the meaning of the word share also, next morning you will get all YouTube channels. They will be sending information about shares. So you don't know how many YouTube things I get in my phone. So after some time, once you listen to few people, or you can ask Nirmal or Kumaresh sir and find out who is reliable, then you can follow that and then start. But first and foremost, please start buying shares. It is good for you. That is what I want to. That is why I wanted to take part in this program.
Coming from you, I'm sure many youngsters will definitely take it up, madam. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I
For
will
want of, for want of
suggest
time,
only one thing. Start reading Nanayam Vidam.
Yeah, I am also buying Nanayam Vidam.
It's a very good book for beginners. We start reading in Tamil, and it's the quality is very good. And start reading Nanayam Vidam. Let us start from today.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, it gives various aspects of personal finance. So you can slowly can learn all those things. But have, as Vasna Madam has told, start today.
Sorry to interrupt, sir.
We also like Kumaresh sir has become a CFP. So at Next Level Education, we also offer the CFP program. So if you really want to know, come take the efforts and become a CFP. It will take you 1 year's time, maybe 12 to 15 months.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Dharmendra, we want our young ophthalmologists to continue their profession.
Yes.
So that is exactly what I'm saying.
So don't take the youngsters from us, because we need to get our cataracts operated.
Absolutely. I'm just making that same point only.
Thank you, sir. For the want of time, we'll move to the next segment on debt funds. Karthik, can you go for that?
Yeah.
Thank you for this wonderful discussion for the first part of equity funds investing, and moving on to the next one. Karthik, can you read the 2 questions that you wanted to among the 10 that you collected?
Yes, sir. Good evening, everyone. I'll ask some few questions on investing in debt funds. What type of debt funds are best suited for young investor with a low risk? And another question is, how do interest rate changes in India affect the debt fund returns?
Okay. So, Kumaresh sir, would you like to answer or shall I answer?
There are 16, in debt funds, there are 16 categories. So each one works differently depending on the risk appetite. And there is also risk, interest rate risk. Here, while investing in debt funds, protection of capital is more important than the returns. Sometimes what happens, some papers may become zero. So don't invest in directly into bonds. Even it may be AA bond like Vodafone, it has become D grade. Like that, so many things are there, very high risk are there. Chance of losing the capital also in debt, the bonds, but not in debt mutual funds. Right? We always suggest to go for debt mutual funds, because here some 50-60 bonds they might have got. So the chance of losing the money is very, very, very minimal. Nowadays, there are CRISIL ratings and many other company CARE ratings are there. They have become very much instrumental in finding out the default rate of that company in long term or in short term. So always have a professional guidance, and the interest rate risk, because now the interest rate is, we are in the upper part of the interest rate. Now it's going to go down. Anyone want to invest now in debt funds means to make some money. There are 30-year-old bonds are there. You can buy that. If you are not that, I can suggest some bonds also. Bandhan Dynamic Bond Fund or long-term fund. If you buy any long-term debt funds, now they are having 15 to 30-year-old bonds. That means what? If interest rate is going to go down, means we can gain, we can have capital gains. We can get very good returns. We are in the right place to buy 15 to 30-year-old bonds. And what type of debt funds best suited for young persons with low risk appetite means liquid funds.
Or low duration funds, ultra short term funds. Those are the funds. But like Kumaresh said, today we are on a interest rate cycle coming down kind of a situation. So in today's time, if you are a youngster and you are not coming under the 30% tax bracket, okay, then you can really choose a debt fund with a long duration debt fund, because as interest rates start coming down, you'll get capital gains. So you could make 8, 9, 10% returns even in a debt fund without taking any risk. But people at a 30% tax bracket will have to pay the tax. So that will hurt. So then there are other funds like multi-asset funds, which invest in equity, debt, and gold. So those are also good funds to consider if you're a youngster. Otherwise, for a youngster, liquid fund does not make sense at all. So if you're such a low risk appetite, it's like as good as putting money in FD only. Nothing more than that. So I would not suggest, but you can look at hybrid funds if you're a youngster. If your tax bracket is very low, simply debt funds right now are very well poised. You'll get almost 10% returns you can get in 1 to 2 years, 1 year or so.
If you are very low risk appetite, if you are in 30 higher tax bracket, go for arbitrage funds.
You can, you can do that.
It will give liquid returns with equity taxation. No risk at all. But the returns will be very low. It will be more than SB accounts, but less than FD. More than savings bank, but less than FD returns.
Right.
Then you will have a equity taxation. That is up to 1 lakh capital gain more than 1 year. 1 lakh we can save. After that, only 10%. Even in debt funds, no, if you are not going to withdraw in your lifetime, that is intergenerational transfer, you are keeping some, because more than 60 years means they will be having 2 crores, 3 crores in FD. Simply you can keep that in debt funds, so you can defer tax. Every year we are going to pay tax in FDs. Instead of that, keep it in debt funds so that intergenerational tax deferment can be done.
Okay, sir. When we are taking it back, that time should we pay tax or what, sir?
Yes. But till you are not going to take out means you are not going to pay tax. The compounding of the tax not paid, no, it will happen.
Okay, sir.
One of the biggest advantage of a debt fund is that what Kumar has said, that you delay your taxation part of it till you don't redeem, you don't pay tax. So you're deferring tax, and deferring tax increases your returns on the long run. So FD will charge you tax every year. Debt fund will charge you tax only when you redeem. So that's one big advantage of debt fund. There are 3 kinds of taxation. One is equity 10% taxation. Okay, after 1 year. There is your marginal taxation, which is 30%. And there is one taxation where you, what is it called, Kumaresh? Where you...
Taxation.
Pardon?
Debt indexation?
No, indexation. Yeah. The third taxation is the indexation. And there are, that's why I said there are multi-asset fund, which has 30% equity, okay, and debt and gold. Okay, it's a safe fund, but it also has indexation. So indexation after 3 years could be even lower than 10%. Okay, so therefore you have to look at where you stand. What is your taxation that you are paying? If you are a 30% taxpayer, debt fund does not have too much of benefit for you. But still, in today's time, that capital gains advantage could come and help you. But then you have other options also, and that's precisely why you need to sit with somebody, understand your particular situation, and have a discussion and see what works best for you. It's like the medicines that you give patients. All patients, you don't give the same medicines. So the same thing works here.
Youngsters may have lump sum like from ancestral property or as inheritance. Sometimes they may be inheriting huge amount like 1 crore. They should not directly put into equities. They can keep that money in debt funds, and slowly they can systematically transfer some of every week. They can transfer it to equities. That's another one benefit of debt fund. And those funds that we have kept for emergency purposes, no, 6 months to 9 months of our monthly expenses should be kept not in equities, but only in debt funds. because it may be needed at any time. So at the time of withdrawal, if the market is down, then we can't do anything. For emergency fund can be kept as a debt fund because it can be coming into account within 2 working days. Today, if we redeem, tomorrow it will come to our account. So that's another advantage. So that's another place where debt fund has a role.
As you grow older and more wealth you create, you move into a little bit of debt. You start increasing your debt. When you are young and you are trying to build wealth, you should think more of equity. Okay, once you start building wealth and you have enough wealth, then you slowly start increasing your debt proportion. And as you grow older and you are in abundance zone, by that time you should be 50% in debt or 60-70% also in debt. Okay, but and instead of being in a debt fund, you'll be in a hybrid fund, because a hybrid fund is more tax efficient. So that helps you more, and also it is more, the fund manager does the asset allocation and rebalancing. So it is more efficient. But when you are young, try to avoid debt funds. Unless it's an emergency fund, unless it's for emergency.
Manjula
Thank you,
ma'am,
sir.
Balance strategy also, we can have some amount of money in debt fund.
Okay, sir.
Market is high, we can remove from some amount from equities, shift to debt. When market crashes, we can shift to equity. Asset rebalancing strategy. We can
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable inputs. And now we'll move on to the next topic. Regarding the tax planning and saving. Sir, what are the benefits of national pension system for young investors?
Keep your mommy's tummy. Ask Kuti Baba whether it's.
And how can a home loan interest be useful for tax deductions?
Naughty.
I think there is some disturbance.
What do you want to say?
PPS sir, mute பண்ணுங்க PPS sir.
I've told to mute, sir. Yes.
Yeah, now it's clear. Yeah. So, what are the benefits of national pension system for young investors, and how can a home loan interest payment used for tax deductions?
Yeah, home loan interest principal can be used up to 1.5 lakhs for ATC purpose, and up to home loan interest of 2 lakhs can be useful for tax deduction purposes. But all these interest payments now are all spendings. So as Prakash sir told, go and increase the earnings. Here, all these deductions, for example, in NPS, we can do only maximum 50,000 rupees under section 80 CCD for any investor. If you pay 50,000 per annum for next 30 years, what's the corpus that we are going to invest? Hardly 15 lakhs. So that can become 45 lakhs. That's all. But we have to create 2 crores, 3 crores corpus to be financially independent. We should work more to save more and invest more. Because we are all taught that earning minus expense is investment. We should forget that formula. Earning minus investment is equal to expense. If you get into this, then we start living below our mean. We can reach our financial independence by 45 to 50. Because here now the opportunities of spending our money is more. When we spend, we can't get the money back. So what are all the goals that you want, how to reach that, plan accordingly, then spend the money. This much SIP I want to do means how much I have to earn. This should be our goal. Like Dharam sir have told, we should have 2 to 3 crores of financial asset by the age of 50 to be financially independent. That should be our goal. For creating 3 crores of asset, how much SIP I should do now? We should do reverse calculation. And if we start working in this pattern, we can reach our financial independence easily. Otherwise, no, however, whatever money we earn, we spend on equipments, hospital, cars, home, infrastructure building, everything. So first, we must pay ourselves. We must look after our life goals. That should also be in the plan, in the financial planning part. Because maximum PPF 1.5 lakhs only, Sukanya Samriddhi Scheme 1.5 lakhs only. Okay, some 3-5 lakhs, it's not going to work in long term. We should invest in equities, because all these fixed instrument, they may give 1% extra, but it will not work in long term, because it's only hardly inflation beaten. Inflation 7% is getting 8%. We are not going to create wealth. If we invest in equities, 15% returns, if we get double the amount of inflation, what Dharan sir has told in his one slide, every 10 years, inflation makes the things double the price, but our wealth grows 4 times.
4 times.
Yeah. So we should work in that manner. We should not think in a conservative manner, like investing in PPF, Sukanya Samriddhi, endowment plans, because all these guaranteed, assured plans may be good for our years, but bad for our purse.
Okay.
Can I add something?
Yes.
See, Prasanna, Nishant and all, they need not worry about expenditures and all that. But I am talking for the sake of many other ophthalmologists who will be earning for themselves. Okay. So now our professor, Dr. Satyavagisan, used to say, so we were all we were in government service, no? But we are allowed to practice. So he used to say, whatever money you are earning in your practice is extra money. You have to invest with that money. Like that, say in case you are already owning a house, so you would have you will be paying at least 25 to 30,000 minimum as your rent. So you think of that as a rent paying for the house and then invest that money. I used to tell my brothers, like if I bought a stock, I will say I have just lost that money. That money is not mine. So whatever I am getting data, I will definitely be making a profit, because I used to invest in good shares only. I mean, if I keep on talking about it, there are many points. Dr. Kumaresh will come out with how the market will go down, up and all that. I'm not talking about that. So once you start investing only, you will know when to buy, when to sell and all that. Unless you just keep reading about how to do cataract surgery, you're not going to become a master. You have to do it. So like that, whatever money you can save, say in case you're going out for dinner 4 times in a month, make it 2 times. So that rest of the 2 times, you would have anyway spent that money. So start buying shares. Like that, you please start buying shares. And then 6 months later, anytime we meet in any conference, you come and tell me what experience you had. Because since all are ophthalmologists, I'm telling this.
Thank you, ma'am. We'll definitely start buying shares. Initially, which is better? Whether it's better to start with mutual funds or going to stocks or something?
If you're afraid, no, just invest in mutual funds. But you're young, you can take risk. I am taking risk at my age. Why not you?
Okay, ma'am. Sure. Thank you, ma'am.
If you don't
Now,
anything, start SIP today.
Yes, like that.
Equity
SIP,
mutual fund,
mutual
yes.
fund, then you can go on.
Yeah, then slowly you start reading in Nanayam Garden. Slowly we get into all those things. Start today in equity mutual funds.
I used to tell, when you start this SIP in banks, no, with your money, they will be having fun. They'll be happy. See, I selected this share, it has gone up and all that. But with your money, of course, if it goes down also, he won't be bothered. But so, see, part of it, say 10,000 you want to invest, 5,000 you give it to the bank, but the rest of the 5,000 you start buying yourself. You can find out from your mutual fund company itself, bank itself, you will know what shares they are buying. You can choose one of that.
Okay, sure. Next we'll move on to the next topic. Okay, which is better, whether the traditional investing system, like how do traditional investment option compare with modern investment? Like,
I know what Kumaresh is going to say.
oh, okay, sir, you can give your input, sir.
We may have heard that my father got 12% in FDs, and his father, that's our grandfather, might have told we have got 24% in FDs. Have you heard? Yeah.
Yes, but now we are getting very 4%,
Yeah.
5%.
Yeah. Whether it was true? Yes, it was true. In 1992, the FD interest rate were 12%. But what's the inflation at that year? If you Google it, 1992 inflation rate, it is 13%. That's why FDs were giving 12%. When 1973-74, no, the inflation was 24%. That's why the FDs were giving 24% returns. So all the FD returns depends on inflation. During Corona period, the inflation was very low. So the FDs were only giving 4% return because the inflation was 3.75. The inflation today is what the government is want to do is keep the inflation 4 to 6%. That's why we are telling that we are into the highest interest rate cycle, highest point. Next, inflation is going to go down and interest rate is also going to go down. So hereafter, we are not going to see double-digit inflation because government and RBI has strict on that to keep the inflation between 4 to 6%. So it's very difficult to get double-digit return in fixed deposits.
Thank you, sir. I request Soundarajan sir, PP Soundarajan sir, to share his inputs because we got to hear a recent talk from him in Pondicherry Nectar Meet also about old is gold, like the title says here. PPS sir, if you could share a few insights because
Yes.
he had very valuable points against the house sort of a concept where everybody was talking about equity and sir stood strong with gold. So request your input, sir.
Hello, good evening. Thank you. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Gold is gold and gold is gold. That's true. But see, actually, you should have some gold in your portfolio for times like this. Times are going to get bad or maybe worse also. Interest rate is going to come down. Inflation is not going to come down that much. And inflation beating one of the best assets for beating inflation is your gold and immediate cash whenever you want it. Even if it is paper gold, you can get immediate cash. Others may not agree to it, but a portion. I am talking about 15 to 20% of your portfolio should be in gold, either solid or paper gold or sovereign gold bond, whichever it is. At present, the best investment in gold is sovereign gold bonds, especially for youngsters. They've got a long-term investment period, and gold prices are going to go up only. Not maybe there's going to be a stagnant period somewhere or other. But now what the experts say, not myself, what the experts say is gold is going to reach 10,000 rupees per gram in a short period, probably 18 months to 1 year, 1.5 years. That's all they're saying. So make an investment or make an SIP in gold funds. Make it a part of it. Otherwise, you go for a multi-asset fund where equity, gold, debt, everything is there. So these funds have given better returns than any other debt funds. So you are in the best of three things. You can think about multi-asset fund allocations or do an SIP in that. Any others? Anybody else wants to add to things? Dr. Kumaresh,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Dharmendra.
Multi-asset fund, ICICI multi-asset fund has given 21% CAGR for the past 22 years. The
Yes.
fund has started in 2002. Depending on the valuation of equity and the opportunities lies in the debt as well as gold, they are captured and they have given 21% CAGR.
That's quite phenomenal.
Yeah.
20 years. 20 years means
Yes, phenomenal
phenomenal.
returns. Please look into multi-asset fund.
You should go to gold through the multi-asset fund, because gold is a great asset rebalancing tool, which you can't do it yourself. The fund manager does it very beautifully. It is like, give you an example, if equity is like an accelerator of a car, debt is like the brake of a car. Okay, so you need a brake also. And gold is like the strong suspension in the car. So if the roads become very bad, you need good suspension. So gold is best used when there are problems in the economy, when there is major scare in the economy, markets are falling down, war is happening somewhere. During those kinds of time, gold protects. So gold is like a shock absorber. So you need to have all three, but you have to have an interplay between them. And you and I can't do that play. We therefore need to go into a fund like a multi-asset fund, where the fund manager and all their tools that they have, they use their tools and their team to rebalance based on the changing scenario. So gold is useful, most useful if it is part of a portfolio rather than separate from the portfolio.
Wonderful, sir. The analysis you gave, accelerator, brake, and suspension. Excellent, excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We'll move to the next segment, Karthik. We have two more lined up, sir. Coming up to the last before segment. Yeah, over to you, Karthik.
Dr. Pranesh will be asking these questions. Dr.
Yeah, okay.
Pranesh?
Yeah. Hi, Karthik. Thanks. To the panel now comparing FD, PPF, and gold with real estate, the two questions I wanted to ask was how young professionals can decide what is the right mix in between all these, and the second one is what is the tax benefit of investing in PPF compared to FD and gold?
Can I take this? Because it is one of my favorite topics. Okay, the answer is very simple for young people. Buy real estate at the end of your career. Okay, because if you buy real estate through EMIs, I just give you a simple example, and I have a calculator. We can always have another session where I will show you the calculator. But if you do an EMI, after 20 years, you will have only one house. Okay, and that house will belong to you at the end of the period because it will be hypothecated to the bank. If you create your real estate using SIP and growing SIP, even SIP, okay, by the time you are in the 8th or 9th year, you'll get your first house. By the time you're in the 12th year, you can buy 2 houses. By the time you're in the 15th or 16th year, you can buy 3 houses. And by the time you're on the 20th year, you practically buy 4 houses. Okay, so house should be your last purchase. You definitely buy at the end, but don't buy it in the beginning, because then you are taking funds out of your system that can compound. Okay, so that is the most important lesson. For young people, decide between FDs, PPF, gold. Young people, equities. Gold can be part of the system, like I explained. Instead of PPF, do ELSS, and real estate should be your last purchase. Tax benefits of PPF compared to FD. PPF has more tax benefit than FD. FD has no tax benefit. Neither does gold have, only PPF has. Kumaresh, you may want to add something.
Yeah, nothing, sir. Just multi-asset fund and start SIP for buying real estate in old age. That's it. Because if you buy a home, then we last 7 years. We lose 7 years of our savings or our life. Early part, that seed money, everything is eaten by EMIs.
And the EMI house is never your own house. Please remember that. You are paying rent to the bank. That's all. It's not your house. It's a it's a myth that we feel that this is my house. The house belongs to the bank. Okay, and you are paying a rent to the bank. So in any case, the house becomes yours after 20 years. So instead of one house, you can buy 4 houses after 20 years if you go by the SIP route.
May I just add one of my experience, my real life experiences. This is one place where I would beg to differ from Dharmendra sir and Kumaresh sir in this. I bought all my investments in my early years were only through real estate. And generally, when we consider real estate, they say that you buy a flat for, say, 25 lakhs, and then it appreciates to 1 crore. You made a 4x. Actually, that is not the correct way of looking at buying a flat. What is the down payment you put for buying that flat? I bought a flat for 25 lakhs 20 years ago. The down payment I put was only 10%, 2.5 lakhs. The 2.5 lakhs became now 1.25 crores. Now, the entire EMI of the flat was borne by the rental that I got from the flat. So, if you can identify a flat or this thing which will generate income, which will take care of your EMI, then you see the best thing about real estate, which I realized was you can't meddle with it, but you can take out a SIP, you will close a FD, you will do all these things. The young people will be tempted to do a lot of juggling with these things. But when you buy a real estate, the other way of looking at a real estate is that it is a solid, you can get rent from it, and then you can liquidate it whenever you want. This is one way of looking at it. And the other thing is, practically you can get a 0 interest loan on your flat. That's what I have been doing. Whenever I buy a flat, I'll pay 1 lakh in the first year. That 1 lakh which I pay in the first year is equal to 10 lakhs basically. So basically what I do is, if I need a loan of 20 lakhs, I'll take a loan of 25 lakhs. And I will pay every year 1 lakh or 2 lakh from the loan amount itself which I have taken. It's quite a difficult thing for somebody who has not done it to understand it. But basically you can get a 0 interest home, and you can pay the EMI through your rent, and basically your money will, it's a method of diversification. You need not put all your money into stocks or into the equity market. You can also put in some money into the real estate, is my opinion.
Sir, you are right. Even I have made a lot of money in real estate, but pre-2008 or 2012, real estate would give you 25%, 20%, 19% CAGR returns. Okay, but in the last 8 or 10 years, the scenario has changed. Okay, and that is the big difference. All of us have made money in real estate. Okay, I had a house I sold it in 3 years. 50 lakhs became 1.4 crores. Then I bought another house for 1.5 crores, and I sold it after 13 years for 2.7 crores, and I didn't have to pay capital gains tax. So these are changing times. One must understand one thing, that a very important thing for all of you all to understand. Equity. In equity, remember, there are 2 markets. Equity is a company that produces goods and services, and it sells in the open market where we go and buy. It could be Amazon, it could be a shop, wherever. The second market is our stock market, where people buy shares. Okay, and then the demand for share goes up. Your share, if people are in frenzy, they believe that the things are going to be very good, they'll buy more shares, and your price goes up. So there are two actions. One is real economy action, and one is the buyer action. When it comes to real estate, if it is a flat, there is only one force, that is the market force. There is no wealth creation. When it comes to land, basic land, it has more value, because land can be used as a factor of production. You can produce something at some times. Not necessarily all land may not be possible. Not a land where you're going to make a house. But if you look at a flat, it is whether it is gold, whether it is flat, these are only driven by one market force. That is the people who believe in that asset class. So if they believe it's going to go up, a lot of people will go buying gold, gold price goes up. But the only asset that creates true wealth is either debt or equity. Because debt or equity is used by companies, and the companies produce goods, and the goods are in the market and they make money, like an Apple, for example. So there are two forces that increase the price of assets. One is real production, value creation, plus the demand and supply. When it comes to gold and when it comes to a flat, there is only one market, that is demand and supply, that is speculative market. Okay, so for example, in Bombay, people used to buy flats and make money. So there was a lot of people investing in flats as an investment asset. Okay, today if you come to Bombay and you want to buy a house, only a genuine buyer is a buyer. You don't have an investment market. So if you want to sell a house, it can take you even 5 years to sell a house. Okay, so the story pre-2008 and the story post-2008-9, they are poles apart. So people who had experience before 2008, it's a wonderful experience. You've made even 25% CAGR, which you'll never get in any asset class. But post-2008, 2009, very difficult. Second thing, real estate is very expensive. So if you have money, and those people who are heavily into real estate, not heavily, even lightly, almost 70% of their money is in real estate, only 30% is free for other things. Because by nature, real estate is more expensive. So what you are saying is right, sir. Even I have made a lot of money in real estate, but that was a different era. That was before a lot of black money was in the real estate. Prices used to go up. Now you've had, it's regulated, it is all in white. So things have changed a lot. And also the rental yield you're talking about of real estate is only 2 to 4%, which is perhaps the lowest. And that is why I have sold my house and I'm living on rent today. So as times change, asset classes also change. You should keep that in mind.
This thing for real estate is that it gives some amount of diversification. And I think in the next 10 years, real estate will bounce back.
Sir, I have one question, sir.
Yes, Pranesh, ask it, Pranesh.
Sir, but after what amount of wealth creation would investing in real estate be a good option? What would be the...
You should buy the house that you're going to live in at your retirement age.
At a retirement age?
Otherwise, there are now mutual funds also called REITs, that they invest in real estate. And there is something called fractional investing, where you invest in big office spaces which are used by top brands of the world, like Google and Apple. Okay, so you can become a fractional owner of that real estate. You also get yield of 6 to 7%, 5 to 7% every year. So it is more than your 2%. And that is a top real estate. So obviously there is going to be some appreciation also. So there are ways of owning real estate. But real estate is always not it's always an expensive buy. You can't buy, unless you buy it in terms of REIT, REITs, which is again real estate in a units form. So there are ways of investing in real estate also now coming into the market, where with less money, you can be fractional owner of real estate.
Thank you, sir.
If you are going to live in a particular place, you see, if you know, the biggest problem in buying real estate is if you are 100% sure that you're going to live in a particular place, then if you can buy a house in that particular area and you know that you are paying already a particular amount of rent and your EMI is probably 75% or 25% more than what the rent you're paying, then you can buy real estate whenever you want. That is my philosophy. There's no need to pay the rent, not own an asset. Rather than that, I would rather own the asset and not pay the rent, provided you have the means to do it and you're very comfortable doing it because you know that you're going to live in that place. This is for only your own house I'm talking, where you live in. Your parents, you want to live. You're scared that somebody is going to evict you. See, there are a lot of other problems are living in rented houses. It is just not owning. See, some owner will come and say, suddenly tomorrow, please vacate the house. Then you have to take your bag and baggage. You have to shift your children out of school. So many other factors are also there. So it is better to own your own house if you can afford it. if you find a good location, and if you're 100% confident that at least for the next 15, 20 years until your children are going to do the education or your career is going to be in that particular place.
And one more query I have is, sir, once you started diversifying your income, you're parked in FD, you're parked in equity, you're parked in PPF, ELSs, you're parked in gold. What other, if you have even surplus coming in, then where do you park this excess amount? Would you again and again park in all these sections, or would you suggest me something else? Like
all
just
excess only equity.
Because I've heard some people say
All
that
excess,
all excess. E for yes,
all
sir.
excess only equity, nothing else. There's nothing to beat
Okay.
equity.
Okay, you're not even mutual funds, it's directly go for equity only.
No. When I say equity, it is only mutual funds. For me, I don't advise stock for anybody. Zero stock, 100% mutual fund is my philosophy. So whatever money excess you have, put it in a mutual.
Yeah, for youngsters, don't go to equity stocks straight away. Go for equity mutual fund. Select the best fund. I think best fund for starters would be a multi-asset.
Okay. Thank you. I will.
Done with the questions, Prasanna?
Last segment, sir.
Last slide.
Open
Okay.
ending.
I can see Kumaresh, some process is developing.
Within two, 3 more minutes, sir, we are winding up. Yes, sir.
Right. So 9:30 we should.
Yes.
This is
Pranesh,
the final topic for the session. So this is about cryptocurrency and how to get started with crypto. And the next question would be, how should investors approach the volatility associated with crypto? I initially thought that Bitcoin, once it had a drop, I thought it's a complete farce. And now seeing its rise, I'm repeating every day why I haven't invested in crypto. So I just want to know the expert opinion. And the peaks and the lows have been rising quite exponential rate. So
before
kindly
Dharmendra start answering, I think you started with debt planning, tax saving, PPF, NPS, and now the extreme of cryptocurrency, which is still not regulated. I think Dharmendra would be the right person.
So I don't honestly, this is one area even I'm looking for guidance. And like, Warren Buffett had, there's a very famous quote of Warren Buffett, don't do things which you don't understand. So as of now, I don't really understand cryptocurrency, how it creates value. I still don't understand. So I don't have an answer for you, unfortunately. I myself need some guidance on this.
Sir, but this one small query, sir. When there is a limit, when there is scarcity, then the value increases, right? So for this Bitcoin and all, there's a limit. You cannot go beyond that.
I still don't understand it. I've been trying to understand despite all this. See, anything driven only by scarcity is, as I said, one force is acting on you. Okay, that is the greed and fear force. That is the speculative force. Like it happens for gold, real estate, everything. So if scarcity is the only force, then tomorrow if it is, I really don't know. I don't understand also. I don't know how it contributes to the economy, what is happening, how does it work. At least we know in equity what is happening. Like if you are investing in Apple as a company, it's producing phones. People are buying the phones. There's a lot of demand, a lot of money coming back. Okay, profits are being made. So it's a very clear understanding. Debt is a way of giving money to the industry. Equity is a way of winning. Real estate is a place to stay. Okay, and the demand goes up. Gold is something we know. But cryptocurrency, what role it plays? I know a lot of people are making money. I have not gone into it, and unless I understand, I will be very scared to get into it. Just otherwise, it will be like a lottery. You don't know, you just take a chance. Pure speculation. I don't have the knowledge.
Pranesh, when you buy something, it needs to be having some kind of a tangible value attached to what you're buying. You buy gold, you have a precious metal which somebody has dug. You buy a real estate, you have something somebody has worked for. They put cement, sand, everything. When you buy stocks or mutual funds, a company is producing something. What is Bitcoin based on tangibly? It's just an alternative currency.
Yes.
And Somebody created it. You don't understand what is the tangible guarantee for the Bitcoin. We don't know, right? So as Dharmendra said, supply and demand alone cannot decide what is the utility value. You have to see. When I buy real estate, supply, demand, plus I see utility. When I buy stock, I see supply, demand, plus some goal, some usefulness is there for the stock. It is investing in some company, right? But then Bitcoin, I don't know. I have zero investment in Bitcoin, but I don't think I understand, as Dharmendra sir said.
I think
It's like
there is one has to study this more. For youngsters, I don't think we should ignore it. Just that we don't have the wisdom right now. But I know that there are a lot of people talking about cryptocurrency. There's a lot of, so I think we need to read a lot and find out a lot more about it. At this point in time, I also don't invest. And what Sir said, I also feel likewise. But I'm sure that I may not be having all the answers. There may be more to it than what I understand. So I think unless somebody like Dr. Kumaresh, if you have more knowledge, you can throw some light on it. I don't have any knowledge on this.
We should not live in a place where there is no police station. We should not live in a country where there is no army. We are not protected like that. There is no regulator in the world. But without knowing, we are going to do something means percentage of our total assets. Total assets means real estate, debt, equity, gold added together. If it is 100 rupees, we can invest only 1 rupee in crypto because we don't know what it is. Then if you are losing that one rupee, it's not going to make us. Yeah. So we can invest 1% of assets just to try. Because just to try, but not more than that. Because even if we lose 1% of our total wealth, it's not going to make me bank or so try with only 1% maximum. Because I don't know. I have gone through classes for more than 16 hours. Even I could not understand that. So I've got zero investments in crypto.
Okay. So my advice would be, even the experts have not understood it. So just keep learning. So when you find some lottery money, you can invest on it. A percentage of it.
The day I understand,
As of now,
the day I understand, I'll create a presentation and make it to you guys only.
Yeah. We'll invite you then, Nidra. And at present in India, it's illegal and unregulated. So I would not advise anybody to go through non-standardized, illegal and unregulated investment. Right?
When Bitcoin just came in, my nephew said it will just definitely go up. He didn't have money, but I was not brave enough to do that. But one more thing is, I won't even buy breweries stock. I am very strict about those things. So when something suspicious, I won't invest in it.
So we call it as sin stocks. So the spirits, the online games, lottery, and of course, some say Bitcoin also like that. But so it's an evolving thing. So maybe after a few years, we'll understand. Once the government regulates it, we may have some confidence on it. So till then, we would not advise to put your hard-earned money there. Right? So if you're getting a gift, okay, you can try. So your 10 questions are over, right?
Yes, sir. I think we'll have 4 minutes on time. Madan sir,
Yes.
Yeah. Madan sir, you're on mute, sir. Yeah.
Thank you all. I think it was a very, very enlightening session for all youngsters, especially. We had a wide gamut of discussions on different investment arenas and different options, what we should do, more importantly, what we should not do. So it's a very, very important session as far as youngsters are concerned, along with their professional skills, how to go about starting their investment journey. I thank our special invitees, Mr. Dharmendra and Dr. Kumaresh, our senior panel, including Vasanta Madam, Thangavelu sir, PPS sir, and Prakash sir. All our youngsters, I'm sure we have benefited a lot, and we will keep going back to this video once in a while to get more tips. Again, the more we see the videos, the more doubts we're going to get, and the better we're going to be. So thank you all for organizing this, and I'll hand over to Nirmal sir for his closing comments.
Yeah, thank you, Madan. I think, so there is a certificate of appreciation, as is our way of thanking these speakers who spend the time, energy, expertise. So thank you, Dr. Kumaresh, for being with us as a speaker. So unfortunately, this is an online certificate. We'll only share online thing, not your share certificates. And thank you, Dharmendra Satyapati sir. I know you're very busy creating content and managing so many things. So thank you so much for joining us, spending your precious 2 hours of Thursday evening with us. And thank you, madam, for giving those bold comments. And coming from you, I'm sure the young ophthalmologists would appreciate it and start investing from today. Thangavelu sir, thank you so much for your sharing your expertise and experience with us. And DP and PPS sir, the gold man. So it is necessary for life as well as for family. So do invest in gold, but certain percentage. So thank you, PPS sir, for joining us. And Dr. DP Prakash, thank you for joining us from US. I think it's breakfast time now. For you, you can have your breakfast or have a walk. So enjoy your stay and vacation. Thank you so much for joining us from US and all the youngsters, the young ophthalmologist team. So thank you for joining us today, Dr. Madan, Dr. Karthikeyan, Dr. Niranjan, Dr. Pranesh, and of course, our convener Prasanna and chair Dr. Nishant. Maybe I highlight a few points for the youngsters. So one is focus on your current earnings and make a diligent accounting. That is very important. The moment you put things into paper, you'll know what is coming in and what is going out. That's very, very important. And focus on saving. So have certain percentage in your earnings as savings and investment. And consistent savings and investment really compounds over a period of time. And manage your debt wisely. So all of us are very fond of equipments. And so this E for E is very important, equipment and EMI. So always focus on these two. So what is really important, buy only those equipment. And review your asset, not on a daily basis, maybe on a quarterly basis. And identify risk, not only your professional risk, but also financial risk. Don't go after quick money, like what you don't understand, like cryptocurrency. And so seek professional advice. I think that's very, very important. So even though you have enough time, but if you lose, say, 20 or 25% in stock market, it's very difficult to get that money back. So always seek professional advice and plan your investment and financial thing wisely. Have a portfolio, balance your assets, and of course, seek professional advice to balance your assets. So I think that is the 5 or 6 points we discussed today, and the crux of the matter we learned from the experts. So stay focused, stay informed, and continue to make prudent financial decisions so that your later part of life will be easier and enjoyable. So thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Nirmal.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I have one request to Dharmendra sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, please write a book. No, honest. No jokes. Please. Because your thought process is so different and it is so useful for younger generation and older generation alike. If you can share this wisdom that you have got, it will be so nice for all of us.
Sure, sir.